Alright, so let's start. So today we'll be talking about one of the topics called EFS. Called Elastic File System. So it's one of the storages provided by AWS, just like EBS we have seen one of the storage, and S3 also we have seen last class. So one of the storage type. So EFS also one of the storage types. So we have three storage types in AWS primarily: EBS, S3, EFS. So of course with few differences obviously, and the way it works will be different. You already seen how EBS we'll be using and how we'll use S3. Today we'll see how we use EFS and what is it exactly. To keep it simple, you already seen NFS, right? You remember in Linux we have discussed NFS. It's a files sharing system. So you can share any your directory from one server, and that will be that can be mounted in multiple servers where you can able to write the data and data will be in sync. So EFS is NFS in AWS. EFS is nothing but NFS but in AWS. That's why the name is changed to EFS, Elastic File System. So internally it will use the same protocols, everything is same. The way we use NFS is same way the way we use EFS also. So except of course since it's in AWS, it comes with little advantages. So one advantage I would say is multi-availability support, multi-availability zone support. So of course we'll be creating an EFS. The EFS is a regional based one. So let's say in Ireland region, I'm creating an EFS file system. I'll be using it. So how we use NFS, we'll mount it and we'll be using it, right? Similarly, EFS also will mount into servers of our EC2 servers or containers, wherever it is, and we'll be using that. So first advantage here is the multi-AZ availability. It means so the EFS will be created across all the multiple availability zones. So if it is one AZ is down, so you can still use the EFS. There won't be any issue. So we'll see that when we start working on it. And of course the storage, there is no limitation of storage here. So you keep on adding the data, the storage will be like that only, keep on increasing to you. Depends on how much data you store, the cost also will be like that. So the main advantage here is EBS volume, let's say general volume, just like EFS as an example. You cannot mount to multiple instances at a time, as I mentioned earlier. But EFS volumes, it's a shared drive, right? You can mount to n number of servers at a time. There is no limitation like that. There is no limitation for that. You can create multiple servers and you can mount the EFS volume to all those servers at the same time. I mean simultaneously you can able to do it concurrently, but in EBS you can't do that. So only one server at a time. So if you want to attach the EBS volume to another server, remove it from the existing one, attach to the new one. But EFS is not like that. So we can able to mount to any servers. There is no limitation like that. So it's a remote storage. So you can mount to anything, any server. I mean any number of servers. So that's about EFS. It's one of the storage type. Where I'll be using the storage type? To store the data. What kind of data? Anything. I mean, of course, except one. You cannot store your operating system data. I mean, your boot files. Your booting files will be there, right, to load your operating system. So that you cannot store. I mean, you can store it, but you cannot load it, obviously. So that's why we have a root volume for each and every instance. So that can't be stored in EFS, but remaining anything can be stored in EFS. Your wish. You want to share, maybe you have some data, videos, something, store it. You have some data, where your application needs it, store it. Of course, you may ask, we have S3, right, to store. We have EBS also to store. Why EFS? That depends on your requirement. One thing, cost. Another thing, availability. Another thing, performance. These three things we have to choose. So EFS availability is there, of course S3 also there, but performance wise EFS and EBS will be more compared to S3. Next thing, cost. Compare the cost. whichever is cheaper for you, you have to use that. Of course, cost is no problem for me. I need performance. Go for EFS. So like that. EFS also provides multiple, performance types that we'll see in few minutes. But yeah, so the pricing you have to make sure if if it is pricing is okay for whatever it is, you can do it, no problem. So like that. Let's create EFS. Let's see how to mount in servers and what are some options inside it and how to mount and blah 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 and all these things. Got it? So let's go. Simple. I mean, go to EFS, search for EFS here. Obviously, create file system. What is the name? Maybe test EFS. Something. I mean, I'm just giving test randomly. So this is a network. There will be only one network for now because we haven't discussed the topic. Let's choose the network and click create. Or you can simply create. If you create it, it will take the default settings. If you want to customize the options, obviously you want to change the settings, default settings, click on customize. Of course, we want to do customize. So these are all the options we have. Of course, we will see all of those. Don't worry. The first thing, file system type. So we are creating EFS. What type of EFS you want? Regional. Regional means I told you, right? So this will be created at regional level with multiple availability zones will be used across multiple availability zones. So the data whatever you store will be shared across will multiple availability zones within a single region only. Why? Because if one AZ is down, you can still use the EFS without any issue. But if you choose this one zone, let's say 1A, 1B, 1C, you have to choose the availability zone. Sorry. Let's say 1C as an example. If 1C is down for some reason, availability zone itself is down, your EFS is gone. So that's why go for regional. So the data will be stored across all the availability zones. So if one AZ is down, also you can have another one. So that's why. So let's have regional. And of course, next thing is automatic backups. So of course, automatically it will back up your file system. Using AWS backup, there is a service called AWS backup, which will take backups of this EFS file system. I mean, whatever the data inside it. Of course, comes with a price. You can uncheck it if you want. If you want, you can simply check it. If it is production level, obviously we need to enable it. If it is not production file system, simply you can just move it, no problem. You can uncheck it. But if production, make sure you have to enable the backup. So you can create from it if it's something is, let's say I accidentally deleted EFS file system. Just, I don't know, maybe I wanted to delete another thing, but I deleted this. If there is no backup, gone. If there is backup enabled, you can able to restore it, right? At least some data. So that's why automatic backups is required if it is a production. Alright. Next thing we have like life cycle management. What are these life cycle management? Sorry. We have seen, right? If you remember in S3 last class, we have seen multiple storage classes: standard access, infrequent access, one zone IA, and what is that? Intelligent hiring, glacier. There we have seen so many storage classes, right? Similar way, in EFS also there are storage classes. So we have to choose here the days. Like let's say I have some file in EFS. Maybe I'm accessing monthly once. So it does not matter, right? Whether even in S3 also, it does not matter whether you access it or not. You have to pay for the storage. I mean, what it is using. The file is, let's say, 1 TB file. Whether you use it or not, I mean, whether you access it or not, you have to pay for it because it's storing it. So what we have, we can move the this file to different storage class so that the cost will be less. Similar, same concept in S3 also. That's why we have different storage classes in S3 also, so that we'll move the objects when we are not accessing it, so that the cost will be less for us. Similarly, we have three things, sorry. Standard one thing, default, and infrequent access, and transition to archive also. It will compress and then it will store it. So let's say we have to select the days here. How many days you want to move the storage? For example, this is default. Let's keep it none. Let's say infrequent access. Maybe I'll say 1 day. It means if I don't access the file, you know, what is this, one day. If if it is one day passed, let's say my file is there, it's been one day since I accessed the file, so automatically the file, whatever the file, not just one file, all the files, it will apply to all the files to infrequent access. Automatically it saves the money. Well, of course, one day is not ideal. Maybe keep it, maybe 30 days default, right? 14 days is fine. So if I don't access some files, not one file, remember some files, uh, for specific days, it will automatically move them to infrequent access. So for in my case, 14 days. Same thing here also, archive. If I don't access the files for maybe 60 days, it means 2 months, it will move them to archive. It means there is archive storage. It will compress them and archive it. So compress means it will reduce the storage, right? The size, obviously, if you compress any file. So the cost also will be reduced. That's why the cost will be less. So once you access the file, it will come back to standard again. So it's fine. So let's say if I click first access, transaction files back to storage based on when they first access infrequent access. If they, let's say, the file is moved to infrequent access because I haven't accessed for 14 days. On the 15th day I came and I accessed the file, it will come back to standard class again. See, you don't see a difference like for a file, whether it is even in S3 also for object, you don't see that specific tag or anything, except you see this is storage class something, but no specific features will come for the file. You can't simply, by looking at the file, you can't identify whether it is which class it belongs to unless you see the options. Similar here also, it is a file system, so we will be accessing in Linux, mostly because EFS works for Linux. We can't mount for I think for Windows it's not there in EFS. So that's about the lifecycle management. After 14 days it will move to infrequent access. After 60 days, maybe 90, we don't keep 60 general, I'm just saying as an example. So if you don't access for 90 days, it will move to archive. After 90 days or after 14 days, if you try to access the file and you accessed it, it will come to standard again. Again, the rules will apply. I access the file today, maybe after 90 days, let's say, and again for 90 days you haven't accessed it, it will move to archive. Obviously, automatically, that's what this is doing. Got it? So that's about the life cycle management. Next thing, let's go to performance. It is something called how your EFS drive performance should be there. It depends on how much you will be using it. So let's say we have two things, enhanced and busting. Throughput must be elastic, that's okay. So this, if you busted, I think it can't archive to sorry, it can't archive the data, but that's okay, we'll see. Let's say elastic, see, it's recommended. It depends on like your use case. So busting means, of course, forget about this for now. So what's happening here is we have two types, enhanced and busting, correct? So what is busting first? This is the default one. Busting is the default. So what happens when you select busting is, it will automatically adjust your throughput based on the file system size. Based on the file system size, it will automatically adjust your, see, without amount of storage based on the requirements. And if we go for this enhanced, so here what happens is, this also automatically adjust, but there is one more option also. You have to configure your throughput, how much you want. What is throughput? If you remember, in EBS we discussed how much data read and write in a specific period of time. It will be usually defined in MBs. See the MBs. So let's say I gave 100 MB. Sorry, yeah. See, of course, forget about the cost for now. So the throughput, it will be provided 100 Mbps. It means the data transfer can be done at 100 Mbps speed to this EFS, which will be useful if you have huge data. Of course, it comes with $60 per month, calculated in Indian rupees. I don't know, but of course we don't need it. So we choose go elastic recommended way, because if you don't know how much the traffic and how much workload you'll get, how much or operations read and write input output you'll get. So with Elastic, what happens is it will automatically scales based on the workload, and we'll be paying only for the throughput which we use. Let's say now, as if I create Elastic file system, I got huge load. After 1 hour, normal load, there is no load. So this huge load is there at one for 1 hour. Only for that you will be paying. But if you provision, if you use this you are giving fixed throughput, speed, right? So whether you use it or not, you have to pay for that. So that's why most people use Elastic, because it will increase and decrease based on what is that? Sorry, what do you say? Based on your workload. You can go for provision if you know your workload required consistently high throughput, but we don't need it. So sometimes our load will be less, sometimes our load will be high, so it depends on that. Got it? So that's about performance. So I'm going for enhanced and elastic recommended way, and click on next. Network. So this is the default network, and these are availability zones defaults. So security group is default, it's already selected, because in order to access EFS, as I told you again, it's NFS. Internally it's NFS only. So what is the port number for NFS? If I hope you remember, the port number is 2049. So firewall needs to be allowed, obviously, to use them. So by default security group, it's using default security group. See, so let's leave this as it is. If you know the VPC, I mean, this is a different network concept, maybe tomorrow. So you can choose if you have multiple networks. For now I have only one network and I'm choosing that. So this is about network. Let's go file system policy. There is something called file system policy, it seems. 1 minute, sorry. So what does it mean is, what you want to, if you want to restrict anything, if you want to apply some policy, maybe for the certain conditions, we can able to add it. Let's say prevent root access by default. Automatically the policy is generated. It means you can use it, but root not allowed to use mount this volume. Enforce read only by default means it will only read only. No one can store the files, but of course we cannot. Without storing anything, how we can read anything? Prevent anonymous access. So it will allow only specific users. Specific users means from AWS, not from outside. They can't able to mount it. It requires authentication. So we haven't seen the topic also yet. But for now, I'm not giving any policy because I don't need it. I need to access by root only. Obviously, I need to write the data. Obviously, I'm accessing anonymously. I don't want authentication for EFS. So I want all this. That's why I'm not writing any policy. So go to next. This is the review page. So whatever you can add the tags. I forgot. Yeah, tags. Maybe name test EFS something. Next, network, next. This is the page. First thing is we are defining the EFS. What is the performance you want? If you observe here, there is no storage, because I told you, right, there is no storage at all. You can store any huge data. Based on that only the cost will be for you. In S3 also we don't use storage, obviously. So we see lifecycle management, how the transaction of the files should work. So we have given infrequent access to 14 days. It means if the file is not accessed for 14 days, move to infrequent. Not accessed for 60 days, move to archive. If they access it, come back. It will automatically come back, don't worry. Automatic backups we disabled because I don't need it. Availability zone regional selected instead of one zone, because one zone means if the zone is down, EFS will create it only in one zone, one availability zone. If the zone is down, gone. That's why I chosen regional, because it will store the data across all the availability zones. So if one zone is down, data is present in another availability zone, like replication you can say. And of course tags, and the network I chosen by default this network. So that's why if you observe here, I chosen regional here. It means multiple availability zones, right? That's why the mount targets are available here. So let's say 1A is down, this is down. 1v1c is there, I can still able to use it. So like that. Now let's create. Let's see how much time it will take to create. Creating. Available. It's already done. So now our EFS share is available. Now how I told you, see how maybe 6 KB I'm using, so it's okay. Now all you have to do is mount it in your servers. That's what you want to do, right? I told you it's nothing but NFS drive only. So what you do once you NFS shared, you'll mount it. So obviously you have to mount in servers, easy to servers. How to mount, I don't know. The commands, maybe mount commands are there in Linux, but yeah, if you don't know it, simply click on attach. It will give you the commands. Mount via IP or mount via DNS. So go for mount via DNS. Why IP means this will give the IP address based on the availability zone. IP address will change, see here. So you can use this also, there is no wrong, but mount for DNS because DNS is common for all the availability zones. This is the DNS endpoint. You may check here. This is the resource name, DNS name here. So if you click, see NFS version 4. See, we have to use it. You can use EFS this way, you can mount, or with NFS you can mount this way. This EFS is the mount point. You can create anything, not just EFS. So now all we have to do is create an EC2 machine and of course mount this NFS. Let's store some data. So let's create two. Why? Because I told you, right? This EFS drive can mount it on multiple servers. There is no limitation. So let's create two and let's mount in two servers. Let's see how this works. Launch instance, number of instances would be 2 obviously. EFS demo. Amazon Linux is fine I guess for me, or you can choose Ubuntu, whatever you want. I mean, it depends on your requirement. Ubuntu 24, yeah, what's okay. Free tier is there, okay. 24 is fine. And instance T2 micro free tier is there, yes, okay. Key pair, I don't have a key pair, yes. Create a new key pair. What is it? EFS. Simply I just use the name, that's it. Don't confuse this one, okay. I'm just giving the name. You know it already. Download, store it. Network, okay. Select existing fire security group, I mean the firewall default. 8 GB is fine because I don't use it anything. I'm just mounting what is that? EFS, right? Now I'll add some script in user data to install NFS because we want to mount it. Where is it? Sorry, we want to mount it, right? If you want to mount, this package is required for you, or this package. We'll try both ways. So let's install those both packages. I mean, we can do the same after also, but why to time waste again? I mean, I'm just saying like that. So sudo wait apt update fny EFS utils NFS utils fny. Let's see, hopefully this command should be correct. Launch instance. It's created. Yeah, let's wait for a few minutes. Maybe this is demo 1, I'll keep. This is obviously demo 2. So let's go to 1. Let me open git bash first. Connect. Yes, I'm just login. Yes. Go to root. Let's try to mount. Let's see. All you have to do is simply first create a mount point. It means create a folder. Something. So here we have to mount it /root/ something. Now go here. It gave the commands, right? First try to use with EFS. Of course, change the mount point. Unknown file system type EFS. So it means we have to the command we gave right in the user data, it did not work. It means we have to install the package. Let's try. Oh, wait, what is it? Not this. See, okay, this is the one we have to. This is the package name. Sorry, my bad. Let's try this. Amazon EFS utils. Let's see. apt install EFS utils. See, okay, the package name is wrong. See here. Okay, this is also wrong. Let's search for Google. EFS utils package Ubuntu 24. Let's see the package name. I don't know really. If there is official documentation. See, not on easy to install Linux distributions. Debian is Amazon for this is for Linux. Okay, this is for not for Ubuntu, for easy to instance. Sorry, that Amazon Linux. This will work okay, but ours is Ubuntu, right? Installing EFS client online. If you don't want to install, clone you can build. Okay, we have to build from scratch. See this. We have to build from scratch. There is a Git repo available. See here. If you don't want to get a package from Amazon Linux MI repositories, it is also available on GitHub. You have to use it. So we are not using this instance type. Obviously, we are using Ubuntu. See, Ubuntu 20. Oh shit. 24. It's not available. Oh my god. My bad. See, EFS package verified against following. If you see there is no 24, obviously it's not supported. My bad. Sorry. So what I have to do? Delete the instances and create with older version. My bad. So 22 is not 24 is not supported. Let me create new instances with Ubuntu 22 and let's try. Ubuntu, or I can simply go for Amazon Linux 23. It's default available. That is also fine. Let's go for Ubuntu only. It's already solution is there, right? Let's see. Maybe here. Ubuntu 22. Yes, this should be available because if you see here Ubuntu 22, it's there. Come on, confirm. Instance T2 micro is fine. Ubuntu 22 key pair my one EFS security group default remaining all are blah blah. Okay, maybe let's launch. User data we don't need to add. We'll log in anyway. Blah blah blah. Let's refresh. Yeah, demo is here. Sorry, yeah, these are our instances. Let's go to demo 1. Connect Ubuntu. Yes, go here. Sorry, my bad. So let's go here, connect, blah blah blah. Yes. So I logged into Ubuntu 22. How to verify? See, Ubuntu 22, obviously, update it. Let's see. What the hell? Ubuntu also not there. What is the package name then? Okay, let's go to GitHub. This one. So where is Ubuntu here? Yeah, maybe see here we have to install like this. Let's do that. If you go for Amazon Linux, AMI instead of Ubuntu, by default the package is available. Of course I did not choose purposely that one because I just want to try this. So in the Amazon Linux it's all default available, but even in CentOS also, Red Hat, in other distributions it's not available. So what we have to do is we have to, there is a repository for AWS. We have to clone that and we have to build the EFS, the package by ourselves. So that's what we're doing. So it's building. And let's just copy this. So same steps we have to do in other machine also. That we'll see later. First, let's mount it in this machine. Come on. Okay, it might take time. Let's meanwhile have it parallelly. Why to waste? It's 200, right? So meanwhile we'll try this. Yes, yes. You can see it, right? No worries. Let's install these packages. I can simply copy paste in a shell script. That is also fine. $72 still. We have 200. Okay, it came like this. I'm just executing a script here. Let it install. Meanwhile, this is 91. Okay, let's wait. Let's wait. Mm-hmm. 109 and it's just 3. Hopefully it should be done. Come on. Mm-hmm. 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 On 33, 22. Of course, if you don't want to waste time like this, go for Amazon Linux simply. But in case if your organization is using Ubuntu machines, so you have to do these steps. How do I know these steps? I went to officially, official website. It says installing on the other Linux distributions. If you don't want to get Amazon Linux, if it is Amazon package repositories, it's also available on GitHub. See GitHub. After you clone the repo, you can build and install Amazon Linux package using one of the following methods: RPM or Debian. So far as Ubuntu, right? So Debian. See, Debian package like this. Got it? So let's see. 161. Come on. 163. 64. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 27, 24, 3, 16. 1. 16 more. 16 more. Here 128. Okay, 415. Come on. Here 108. Oh yeah, finally it started. 191. 9 more. Yes, 9 more. 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. Come on. Finally, don't fail. Here 70, here it's 1. Just 1. Why the hell, man? Come on. Ah, yeah, finally done. Oh my god. Thank god, really. So package is installed here. Let's copy this command. We have this command EFS, or we'll mount with NFS also, don't worry. Let's paste it. Obviously it should throw an error. Oh sorry, my bad. Wait, I don't have any mount point. Sorry. Let me get here demo purpose. Let's mount. Still unknown file system. We wasted this much time. Let's try this one, maybe, using NFS client instead of EFS. Let's not waste time anymore. EFS, sorry, I keep on forgetting it. Bad option, NFS, AFS. Need a mode. What? Where is the bad option? Bad option for several file systems, including, so you might have it as well as one time. Problem. What? Okay, this is the one. There is some issue with the command. Let's try. Let's figure it out. Meanwhile, let it install the other one. Let's see what they are saying. Do we have NFS common package? I believe we should have. No, not there. Sorry, my bad. Let's mount again. It will fail now. That's okay. Of course, the command issue is gone at least. I forgot to install the package. It will fail obviously because you know why? Let it fail. We'll see. Meanwhile, try the same command here also. Copy the package. That's okay. This is fine. mkdir demo is creating. apt install nfs mmon the package I'm installing, NFS client package. Okay, it's already installed. Paste. Obviously it will fail. See, you know why? The port number, we have to allow the port number 2049. Go to, I think there is no 2049 if you observe here. See, that's why. Let's add the port number. NFS, there will be somewhere here. NFS, see. For now, let's keep it 0.0. Save it. Let's try. See, mounted. See, it's also mounted. See now, that's easy. DF-H, see, it's mounted. 8 EB. EB converted to GBs. I don't know how much. 1 EB is equal to, what is this? I don't know. I have to calculate it. Sorry, but yeah, 1000 PB or 1 billion GB. Do you really have that much size? No, right? But yeah, that's okay. Now it's mounted. Let's go cd demo. Let's create a file. Touch anything. Obviously, this will reflect in this server. Go to demo in this server. I mean the mount point. See the data here. Touch test 1 2 3 ls, because they are using the same NFS drive but just mounting in different servers. That's it. Based on this only, also the size will reflect it here. Of course, we just created an empty file. Maybe let's download something. What is there? Huge one. Download Ubuntu. It's 4 GB, man. No. Download Sonar Cube. Maybe it's not even 100 MB. It won't reflect that fast. But yeah, let's see. Community build. Okay, this is the file. Copy link address. wget. It will fail, obviously. Let's see. It's still 0%. Obviously, it won't show because we just. That's fine. So 283 MB. Obviously, this also will be same because see the SonarQube file is here. I mean that's the wrong file, but I just wanted to show you. That's it. So it will reflect here. It will take some time, but yeah, it will reflect. So don't worry, it will reflect. So that's about EFS. Any doubts so far? Now what is EFS? What do we use it? How to create EFS drive and how to mount it? Of course, try with NFS only. Don't waste your time. Go for EFS type. Installing all the steps and all. Just install NFS package. The client package and mount it. If you want to try with EFS, go for Amazon Linux. That's pretty straightforward there. Here some issue is there. I have to install it, some other packages. Time waste, completely. So NFS also works same. I told you, EFS is nothing but NFS only in AWS terminology. That's it. So that's how we mount it. Not just 2 servers. You can mount n number of servers. There is no limitation. I'm telling you again. There is no limitation. That's why just for testing purpose I created 2 servers for you, in order to show you. Okay, so hope it's clear. Don't leave. But yeah, is it clear, the topic NFS? Any doubts so far?
No, no.
No.
All right, yeah.
But which is good to use, EBS or EFS?
So it depends on your use case. Both are good. Both are good. But let's imagine my scenario. Daily my data is increasing. My users, my client, my customers. Sorry. So they uploading the data. I need to have my data. Like in the GBs or TBs level, my data is increasing. Keep on. If you are using EBS, daily you have to increase the volume size. But if EFS, there is no size limitation, right? You can simply just create it and use it automatically based on your there is no size limitation based on your what is that, storing the data. The cost will be like that. There is no size limitation, so you can go like this based on your requirement. Go like for this EFS. But of course, if you have the cost constraints, look into that also. If you have that cost limitations like that. Got it?
Yep.
So yeah, that's it about EFS. Any other doubts? Any other? Sorry, anything?
Not now.
Okay, so yeah, that's it for EFS. Don't leave. Let me stop the recording first.